Hello guys, gals and non-binary pals, and welcome back to the web, where today we have a pretty fun game between Lizardmen versus Warriors of Chaos, I believe. I think it's the, I haven't actually checked out the DLC, but it is Valkyria, so it does seem to be Warriors of Chaos, with a lot of Khorne units. This is a pretty fun match, actually a pretty alright matchup for the Lizardmen under normal circumstances, but it can get a bit spicy when you don't have a lot of maneuverability, especially for your quicker units like the hunting packs. So instead we've got these two ancient salamanders, lovely armor piercing damage to deal with all the armor on Khorne, because they have plenty of it. We also have three swords with spears, because no matter what infantry you bring, it's not going to trade well into Khorne stuff. So I like the spears just because they have the extra melee defense. Skink because we have the extra 300, a mage priest of life, because, well, you really need that net to stop Valkyria from, well, sniping everything on your army. And we also got Barona's Time Walk and Banishment, although I'm not sure he gets too much value out of those. Also the starting army, we have Kobold Spear Riders, a Bastiladon. In the reinforcements, Clossodon Hunters, bit of a waste since there wasn't much large units and they're very expensive. Ripidactyls, get some good stuff. 2 Croxagores, 3 Skinks, 2 with Javelins, 1 Cudgel, an extra Saurus with Spear, Saurus Spear unit, 1 Chameleon Stalkers just for the Vanguard, and 2 Feral Cold Ones. On their side we have Valkyria, 2 Minotaurs, 1 with great weapons granting them anti-large, 2 Warriors of Chaos with 2 Chaos Warriors of Khorne with halberds, 1 without, 2 Bloodletters, and in their reinforcements, Spawn of Khorne, 3 Flesh Hounds, 2 Furies, another halberd unit, the Brutes of the Hound, which are the Regiment of Renown Marauder Berserkers, and 2 more Bloodletters. So a pretty interesting army. Not much range, but I guess it is Khorne, so I think they only have artillery. So let's get into it. Cool, so coming in here, good thing we brought the net with our light mage, because yeah, Valkyria can be a very strong lord for sniping large single entities, which we have the Bastiladon, these three, this guy, and the mage priest. So definitely not exactly ideal comp against her, but the net should hopefully keep us safe. We are currently pushing a Saurus with shield, spears are down here with the Cudgel Skink just hiding in there. And these guys are kind of set back here, hoping to try and bait out something to come snipe some of our stuff, like here. Maybe Valkyria will come for the Slan, we can just capture it there. Although she isn't large, she is infantry size, so they won't get any kind of bonus first large, which is a bit of a shame, because, well, we have a lot of that. I was kind of expecting Scarbrand, to be honest, because I did forget this was Warriors of Chaos, not Khorne. Anyway, they're really pushing a lot of their stuff through down here, which means we do pull these guys back, because there's absolutely no point trying to stop this. Cudgel Skinks are hiding back in here, and we are hoping to kind of pull a bit of a sneaky and come around and get into here. They're bringing Fury, 1 Fury, and a second one. Yep, there we go. And they're going to come try and snipe these ancient salamanders, but we've got enough saved up for Ripidactyls. Just a bit of a, I guess, tip. If you are trying to snipe out stuff like this, generally wait till your front lines have clashed. Micro is a little bit more afraid, and they've already summoned units out. For example, if they'd waited a bit longer, I might have summoned out some more infantry or something else. But as we kind of stand here, we're in quite a good position to kind of match up here. If you do use Ancient Salamanders, do not let them get, well, do not let them shoot into the back of your own troops. They generally do a lot of damage. Valkyria here is coming down to snipe the Bastiladon. Almost taking shots there. Got 70 value. Yeah, he's 650 gold. It's not a huge loss even if he does die, but I think he does escape here. We have the Saurus here. Bloodletters will do very well into Saurus, even though I think they're a little bit cheaper. So we're bringing out Skink cohorts since they trade fantastically into Bloodletters, well, shooting into them anyway. They have very little armor, they're not shielded, and they these guys do quite good damage by applying the poison debuff. And these guys are still waiting. Hopefully these guys will push up this point, and we'll be able to walk past them and we'll start taking it. They are pushing all of their forces up here. It looks like they do want to kind of capture this side and here. Front line's about to engage. It's going to lose pretty decisively. This is the issue with not being such a kind of more open map. These guys have 70 speed. You really want to have them kind of standing here. This wasn't here, and you can shoot into the side or into the backs, and they're very hard to catch. But we do stop them firing there because they are shooting a lot of our troops from behind, and that does kind of hit the leadership quite a bit. Hounds coming in. We have this guy on standby. Valkyrie's here, so he's not. Slan isn't too likely to get sniped. And we have brought the cavalry round to hit these Bloodletters in the back, which is actually not a bad idea. Not getting many hits in, unfortunately. These guys really should be brought to the flank. These guys are coming in. And the halberds are a real pain to try and deal with. The minibus is also coming in. Here's where we might have wanted to bring a life priest, because even if it hit our own Saurus and spears, it would have been a fantastic dwellers below, just here. Hit the minotaurs, hit both of them, and kind of clear out this halberd and send infantry for the 800 gold spears. Anyway, bring out some feral cold ones, fantastic unit on the roster, probably the best bang for your buck, and more furies coming out, really trying to shut down these ancient salamanders. But Ripidactyl Riders will get them there. We have the Saurus spears over here, and they've actually pushed up their second Bloodletter unit up here, which means we're going to try and go around and get onto this objective. If you do use skinks, they're absolutely useless in melee, at least the base variant is, but they have full capture rate for 300 gold, so play to your mobility, you know? Now they're facing behind, we can get a good charge off with the cavalry here. These guys will shoot into them quite nicely, see a lot of damage going off there, and these guys are free to go and take that point. Over here, we really can't match the front line of Khorne, unfortunately. Oof, Basiladon getting absolutely beat up. So what we are trying to do is kind of pull a bit of a tactical retreat here, pull some units out to hold them around here, and we're going to keep pushing for these objectives up here, like top and down there. We have got a lot of resources kind of dedicated around here, and halberds are very difficult to deal with, since a lot of our damage is coming from they're trading about evenly, which is not good. A lot of the damage does come from large units, which obviously don't do well against halberds. Skinks coming down there. They're pulling out Chaos Warriors of Khorne, who will absolutely decimate these guys, but they just need to sit on the point. A lot of feral cold ones are going. The anti-large are coming here, trying to get on these great weapons. They obviously are large minotaurs, and Valkyrie's been hit with a net, trying to snipe some of our salamanders. Pop them in the Saurus, and probably should pull the slam back a little bit. Ripidactyl's coming from behind, trying to keep her pinned in with a mass. Shouldn't be shooting in. Oh, okay, that's not good. That is the issue with bringing ancient salamanders. Should be shooting these minotaurs. We have the feral Basiladon coming back in, and Bloodletters are moving up on this point, and they probably will win against Saurus, or at least trade very, very effectively. Do have a lot of resources blocked up here. Well, it looks like that, I guess, but these guys are only 400 gold each. This is 800, this is 1,000, this is 600, right? The issue is these guys have 110 armor, and none of these are armor piercing. Because of the halberds, we are pulling away our cavalry. Gonna come save here. They are pushed the minibuses up here, trying to keep us off the point, but we don't particularly mind because we have taken this point with the cudgel skinks. Although, these flesh hounds will have an absolute field day taking them out. Again, I probably should have bought like a one Lizardmen unit just for around here. Shooting into the backs or something would have been fantastic value. But it is really hard to get rid of that 110. I think they're a tier 2 unit, right? 110 armor, 37 melee defense. Yeah, quite hard to get rid of even with all these units here. Pulling back the salamander. Bringing out the Croxagore here because they're actually, while not terribly effective, they have a lot of mass. So we really need to stop these minotaurs getting into our backline. We've routed off those halberds, thank goodness. More minotaur weapons coming here. But these guys aren't the... Oh, these are great weapons? Yeah, they are. So they are anti-large, but we are bringing in our own anti-large cavalry, mixed in with Croxagores, who are also armor-piercing, and a little bit of salamander shooting. So these guys should do quite well. And when you look at that, because they've pushed so far up, and they're putting a lot of resources up here as well with Valkyrie, they have, well, essentially kind of left only one unit here. And this is where we might want to move some of our skinks once we kill these flesh hounds and push them onto the back of the objective. Like I said, here, these guys... Oof, they actually do quite... Losing decisively, they are lasting quite a long time, though, to be honest. But yeah, these guys need to be brought out. We are bringing... They've pushed further into this objective, now we're pushing here because we do have kind of nice tempo. A lot of their units are broken here, they're pushing a lot of other reinforcements down the top and the bottom. So it's a nice place, and we can also get these lightly armored berserkers. They do seem to be unbreakable, but that's not a huge issue. Getting double shots in, and the Croxagore will do well because these are anti-infantry and these guys are large and they're anti-infantry themselves. Probably would be a nice place to put Brona's Time Warp on these guys, since Croxagore generally have very low melee stats, about 26 melee attack, but very, very high weapon strength. 90 something with the extra 20 against infantry. Again, they're coming in for a snipe with Flesh Hounds of Khorne. By this time, this guy's already paid for himself, so even if he does get shot down, not a huge issue. Again, we are bringing out some Feral Cold ones, 450 gold, fantastic unit. And the great thing about Cudgel Skinks is these guys will route off into here, They probably won't leave the map, same with these guys. And we got quite a few points and forced them to put a lot of units here. Now I've cleared off those halberds, these guys are going to come in. We're going to push up and try and get this objective here with these guys in Stalk. That's a good thing about Chameleon Stalkers, they do come in with Stalk. They're invisible, unless they get too close. A lot of units here, they were tied up 2 Flesh Hounds, a Chaos Warrior of Khorne, for a single Feral Cold one, and a couple Skinks. So these guys are going to move back, wait for the Flesh Hounds to leave, and then we'll make our move back on here, play to the mobility. Again here, these guys will die at a stiff breeze. Valkyrie's going to leave soon. We will start to lose that point, but we can bring up even some very cheap cav, knock these guys off and retake the point. Middle objective's going quite well. Croxigal, I really should be using better use of my mage. I'm just scared of them being killed, but net is up, that's why I brought it. So that's really a bit of a failure on my part. I do tend to let a lot of my Winds of Magic go to waste. So it would be a very good idea to bring in the Broner's Time Warp, slap it on some of these Croxigal, since they're quite effective at it, and we'll just clear through that chef quite nicely, since it would basically double their melee attack. This is what I'm talking about. We have a lot of units, and I believe we do bring in, yep, the Croxigal. They're going to come ahead and crump these Flesh Hounds, then they're going to go beat up these Chaos Warriors, and even if they don't win, we will have enough capture weight on this point, which is why these 2 Skinks are coming there and just standing there. Having a look, he's moving the halberds back, the Minotaurs are coming back as well. I think he does send them back into combat. Would have been much better sending them off and resummoning them with the full health. We did pop a net here because they were coming in for the Slann. Hopefully she still continues to come in for the Slann, because we do have a bit saved up and we can bring out some stuff to capture her here with the mass. No point shooting in with the Ancient Salamander, although, gee, she has some tanky stats. What is this? 64 magical flaming attack, high weapon strength. Might be coming in to get the Salamander, but this guy has also already paid for himself, so not a huge issue. We have quite a nice pull on here. Oof, look at that spear, and these guys run into it. I don't know what I was thinking. Looks very devastating. Is a little bit, but remember these guys are 300 gold, and they don't even leave. But, geez, they're absolute roadkill. God damn, okay, Jesus. So that happened, I suppose. Skinks are still here. But yeah, we see these halberds coming. These guys are large, they won't last against them, so we're just pulling them back. There's really no reason to fight her. I don't know why does she pop the shield there, or she's attacking? Gary, that was still on absolute chat, coming in, popping a Broner's Time Warp on him, so he basically doubles melee attack, actually more than double from it. 48 melee attack, going toe to toe with Valkyrie, and this guy's probably just gonna be, we kind of want to keep him in this, probably should have brought him back, coming in for the backstab, not good. But look, Slann's are tanky things. They have a couple thousand health. Yep, 7,500. They're not going to be one tapped, even by anti-large character like this. Hopefully Gary does come back and get back to the dueling. The demons up here disintegrated by the mere presence of the Saurus because they were so low on leadership. Bringing out more bloodletters here. And yeah, like I said, we're just leaving. Absolutely no reason to fight these guys. Their infantry is way too good. All of our damage comes from large units, so we're booking it down to the bottom objective to retake it, and then we'll push ourselves back up, or push for through this angle here and collapse on them. So that's kind of probably the more meta way. Oh, here we go. Yep. I think the surrender came soon after she got clumped. But yeah, this is the more meta way to play Lizardmen, I think, at least, is definitely to play towards your mobility. Like, you can't stand up, you won't trade well into high tier halberds, you won't trade well into these guys with your infantry, so don't even bother. Capture the point with a bunch of skinks. As long as you have a good enough cavalry to fight off their cavalry, which we did. We had the good Ripidactyl play, the anti-large on our cavalry. And yeah, and then you just pop the Saurus on there, they take a while to buzzsaw through. And yeah, you just get the point things. And we also traded quite well, I think we're about 3,000 gold up. And you can also tell because we had 16 units there, about 9 I think it was. So let's check out what the value was like. Cool, so here we have, obviously Slann didn't do much. I definitely could have utilized them a bit more. I generally am a bit sloppy with my mages, since I do enjoy my micro on the infantry units. This guy did alright, he did keep the Salamander safe, didn't quite pay for himself, about 50 gold value short, because he cost 1100. Both Salamanders paid for themselves quite well, and they did send quite a few units to their doom trying to shut these guys down. So well worth their job, even if they probably did shoot half that value was of my own units. Cold One Spear Riders, anti-large, 1.2, did quite well. Spears did surprisingly well, actually. I was a bit shocked at this. What, 700? They almost all pay for themselves, which is quite rare against Khorne, since they have very good anti-infantry with the bloodletters. Pharaoh Bastillodon, I really wish I was watching them just go ham against Valkyr. Might bring one of those to do a bit of dueling if I do bring Barona's Time Warp, because that is tremendously funny. Then we have the Cudgels, basic skin cohorts, 300 gold. He did absolutely nothing, but they do give fantastic capture weight for objectives, so they're very, very good. For that, at least. Ripidactyls paid for themselves and they're one summon, that's fine. These guys are probably a waste. I was going to bring them for Scarbrand or another Bloodthirster. They're quite good at that. They're flying, so they can catch a Bloodthirster, and they are anti-large, so they absolutely shred with armor piercing. So that's always good. Both Croxels actually did pretty well. They were summoned very late, so didn't get full value, but they have most of their health left still. These guys did fine. Again, like I said, infantry is always hard to pay for itself against Khorne. These guys, alright. That little blob we had probably would have done better with some of these guys. Their armor piercing. And the Javelins pay for themselves because they're shooting into the bloodletters, which just gives them great value. Valkyr did pretty well. It was kind of annoying, but we were never really in a major issue of her really getting to kill anything. So that was good at least. So a lot of that damage against single entities, so it didn't really matter much, especially with the artillery from the Ancient Salamanders. Yeah, I definitely would have brought a lot more halberds if I was them. Bring probably less Bloodthirsters, bring a lot of halberds, bring only Great Weapon Minotaurs. There's really no reason to bring these guys. Or don't bring, only bring Howders, don't bring Bloodthirsters, and just bring Minotaurs of Khorne with, for the anti-infantry, the base ones. There's no real reason to bring anything other than that, because all your damage comes from large entities, whether it's Ripidactyls, Cavalry, Croxagore, other Cavalry, the Slann, this guy, the Ancient Salamander, they're all large. Fleshhounds did alright. One of them, that was probably the one that got the pick on the Ancient Salamander. So a lot of mobility from Khorne. That's something they kind of excel at as a melee, very high melee faction. Obviously, you don't have to worry about shooting, so it could have actually been worth not bringing the shields on these guys, 50 gold less, but they do have less melee defense. These guys did pretty terribly because we were shooting into them the entire time and then went up against the Croxagore. And yeah, Khorne infantry, real tough nut to crack. In a Black Ark-like map, very big, you can bring hunting packs around the sides and shoot into them quite nicely and protect them with your cavalry. But in this kind of map, it's a bit more difficult because it's full of a lot of choke points. So definitely kind of a hard match for Lizardmen to beat. Thank you for watching. Obviously, if you enjoy this kind of stuff, feel free to subscribe. I do enjoy making these kinds of videos. And I'm actually a modder by trade, so feel free to check some of that out. Anyway, thank you for watching. Dips out.